The Nintendo GameCube is one of my favorite systems of all time, so let's go look for some controllers so I can play all my old GameCube games. Ah! Okay, what if I take another option? So I have this brand new third-party controller from Old Skool. I got this off Walmart's website for $10 and—
Freeze! Controller police. You have the right to remain silent.
You'll never take me alive. Well, now that I've got the controller police on my butt, I might as well finally review the controller that got me into this mess. So here is the controller in question. Now, all the opinions are coming from someone who was A, not paid by Old Skool, and B, has never used or owned an official GameCube controller. So, in order to compare this controller to something else that is tangentially related, I'm going to be comparing it to this old Mad Catz controller I had. I used this thing for years when I was little, but unfortunately I was a dumb kid and didn't tie the wire correctly. This thing worked fine, both these are third party. I figured this would be a decent comparison since most people have used one of these before. So, let's get into this. Number one, we have the stick. Now the stick here is amazing. It has this nice rubber coating, it doesn't feel loud when you hit the sides, and do you hear that? It's not really springy either. It's just the right amount of everything. It's great. Compare that to the Mad Catz one, where it's really hard and uncomfortable, and then really loud and really springy. This one worked, but this one gets the edge in so many ways. The C-sticks are around the same, to be honest with you. I mean, this one's bigger by a long shot, and while this one isn't loud, it does its job. This one's smaller, a little louder, but overall, it's still good. Both of these really get the C-stick right, but this one nails the analog stick. This one not really. The D-pad is something that no one really cares about on a GameCube controller, let's be honest. So, in general, I would say both of these are around the same. They're really squishy and honestly not that responsive from what I've been able to use. I mean, they work fine, but I don't know, if you actually need to use these for movement, these are not good. And for menu navigation, they're not much better. They're fine, but overall, I just don't care about them. Just try and avoid using the D-pad, to be honest with you. It's not going to be very hard to do since most games are 3D and you need this to use them. Next up, face buttons. Now, these are very quiet. Except for A, but A is kind of loud, but everything else here is quiet, but also kind of small. And start is, almost completely silent. This one, the buttons are almost all louder, which to some might be annoying, but to me, I actually kind of like that. It makes it feel really nice to know that I hit the button, And they're nice and big and meaty, and honestly, they feel nice. They were a little stiff when they came out the box, but overall, I'd say broke in a little. They were fine. By breaking in, I mean, after they got used for a few hours. Start is also fine here. I doubt they could screw that up. Now, everything so far has been pretty good, minus the D-pad, but no one cares about that. But now we're going to get into the part of the controller that isn't as great. Now we're getting into the tops of the controllers, of this controller specifically, which works fine, but it does have a couple of problems. Number one, the Z button. It's very clicky. I'm pretty sure you can just hear it. It just doesn't feel too good, especially in comparison to my old Mad Catz, which is basically silent. Well, it has two, they serve the same function, so it doesn't really matter. However, what really gets me is the triggers. Now, this one's triggers aren't bad necessarily. The left one feels great. Both are completely analog, both do their job, and both feel great. However, the right trigger has a very specific problem. The left one sometimes has it, but the right one is very obvious about it. When you click it all the way down, you hear this guitar strum sound, and it makes me worry for this controller's quality. Which, once again, is very noticeable coming off of the Mad Catz. On both triggers accounts. The wires are around the same length, and to finish this off, I'm just going to, kind of show off the packaging in the background. So let's recap. The sticks are great. The D-pad's meh, but you don't really use it all that much. The face buttons are good. And the top, the Z button's pretty clicky, but it's not the end of the world. The right trigger can be a little strange at times, but both work fine. However, can those small problems truly ruin this controller? No. For only $10, this is a great deal for me. These come in 4 colors: indigo, orange, silver, and black, and white. Actually, 5 colors, my mistake. It's the standard size of a GameCube controller. The wire's big enough to really get some distance out of it. And honestly, for what it does wrong, it does so much right that I can't say it's bad. If you just want to play some games casually, it's great. You need some extra controllers for multiplayer and Mario Kart or Mario Party. I can't see really anything going wrong with these. And you can actually use these on the Wii, apparently. I can't test that because I don't own a Wii, but, it's still an option there if you'd like it. However, if you want to play Super Smash Bros., I'm sorry, but you need to find first-party controllers. And good luck doing that, because that game is a controller shredder, and it'll destroy this poor thing. But overall, I can't say this was a bad investment by me. So, if you're in the market for some extra GameCube controllers, this is not a bad option. Well, now that that's done, I guess I might as well get back to scavenging. I'm on the run now. What else is there to do?
We've got you now.
Just fine. However, can those problems truly ruin this controller? No. For only $10, it's just what I need. It's the standard size of a GameCube controller.